Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike with Gaming Like It's 1999, and today we're starting a brand new series with Tecmo Super Bowl. Now, I know you've seen a lot of people on YouTube play Tecmo Super Bowl, but we are actually going to go through and see if we can go undefeated with all 28 NFL teams. So we're going to go 1 year at a time with each video, and obviously we're going to cut it up so it doesn't take forever. But we're going to go through and show you the highlights of each week, track our stats, and then we're going to have 28 different years of stats we can run through and look back on. I think it'll be very interesting. And then also, too, we're going to have missions throughout the year as well. So we're going to have one hard, one easy, one medium mission, which we'll highlight as we go through the beginning of picking the teams and whatnot. But they range from anywhere from a 1,000-yard quarterback rusher, which would be easy with QB Eagles, not so much with Troy Aikman or Don Majkowski or Jim Kelly and whatnot. So there's going to be some harder tasks. And if we don't pass those, it's going to be a punishment for the playoffs, which is going to make it even tougher to go undefeated. And if I do lose a game, you will see it and I will start over. I am not one to play this game of, not recording it, not showing it. I will show you every loss. That way I have to start over with that team with a brand new role, brand new missions, everything. So don't think it's going to be one of those cheesy kind of things as well. So also, too, there's going to be no cheese plays. We're playing just regular football here. There's going to be no nose tackle, glitchy plays, nothing like that. I'm not going through and subbing anybody. Whatever the starting lineup is, whatever it is, I don't go through and sub out the excellent to the bad. I don't care about that stuff. We are here to play it like it should be played, and that's what we're going to do. So let's go through and we're going to pick our first team and start this series off right. All right, guys, so we're going to start this off by picking teams here. Obviously, we have the Jaguars, the Texans, the Ravens in there, and the Panthers. Obviously, if we roll those, we'll have to skip those. But we're going to be going 4 rows down, and then with the 4 rolled dice, and then 8 across with the 8 rolled dice. So let's get over here and pick our first team. And we'll get a little view of the man cave down here. Obviously, we have Tecmo Super Bowl already started up. All right, so we got the first roll here. It is going to be roll number 4. So let's see what the options are today. We're looking at the Jets, which will be rough. Eagles, Steelers will be pretty easy. Niners easy. Seahawks, Bucks, Oilers, and Redskins. So let's go and see who we're taking for the first season of the undefeated Tecmo Super Bowl run. Number 8. It's the last one, which I believe is going to be the Posse. Yes, number 8 is the Washington Redskins. All right, guys, so here's the task we're going to be working on for the first year with the Washington Redskins. The easy task. Now, if we don't complete this task in the wild card game or the divisional round, whatever our first playoff game will be, all backups for the whole game. So we got 20 sacks, a 300-yard quarterback rusher, a 1,000-yard receiver, 2 800-yard receivers, a 1,200-yard rusher, 2 600-yard rushers, a 2,500-yard passer, or 1 kickoff and punt return. So let's see what it's going to be. Number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 2 600-yard rushers. That's gonna be a little tougher. That's one of the harder tasks for the easy runs, especially with this team. All right, and then number 1 for the medium task. So we got 30 sacks, 500-yard quarterback rush, 1,500-yard receiver, 2 1,000-yard rushers, 1,800-yard running back, 2 800-yard running backs, a 3,500-yard passer, or 2 kickoff and punt returns. So we rolled a 1. So we got to get 30 sacks. That shouldn't be too bad with this team, but we'll see. Then the hard task. Oh, again, sorry, for the medium task, if we do not get it first half of our first playoff game, all starters will be subbed out. The hard task, we got 40 sacks, 1,000-yard quarterback rusher, which I will be dreading for this one with Mark Rippon. 3 1,000-yard receivers, the Posse should take care of that. 2,000-yard receiver, 2,500-yard running back rusher, 2,000-yard rushers, or 4,500-yard quarterback yards, or 3 kickoff and punt returns. If we don't get this one, we only can pick run plays on defense for the first quarter of for the first half of our first playoff game. Number 8. Ooh, that's going to be a tough one. Well, we got Brian Mitchell, though. Shouldn't be too bad. We got 3 kickoff and punt returns. So those are the tasks we got, and now it's time to get into gameplay. Like I said, we'll go through and we'll highlight each week, show off as much as I can, but I want to get you guys mainly to the playoffs. We'll highlight those. Let's see if we can go undefeated with the Washington Redskins. All right, guys, let's check out this roster here. Of course, we got the offensive starters: Mark Rippon, Ernest Biner, Ricky Sanders, Art Monk, Gary Clark. The only ones we really have to worry about. On defense, of course, we got Darrell Green, Todd Bowles, Wilbur Marshall, Tracy Rocker. Solid team. I don't think we're going to have a hard time with this, but the season does tell me differently. We start off week 1 with the Detroit Lions. I was thinking a lot of Barry Sanders coming my way, but Rodney Peete decided to pass quite a bit. And I think we picked him off 4 times this game. 3 of them by Martin Mayhew, coming up strong. And then, of course, I found out real fast when I'm doing this this series here, I want to get the missions done as soon as possible. So we got to get Ernest Biner his yards. Gary Clark on the reverse, we got to get him his yards. That way we get that 2 600-yard rushers out of the way. And then on defense, we're going to take control of Darrell Green. That way, if we get caught pick and run play, we can still guard the back end. And then we also can get those those sacks when they do the rollouts. Again, Barry Sanders coming out of the backfield. Lions would have used him a lot more, or if I would have ran into the Lions later in the season, I think there would have been a lot more issues. But this is where the Martin Mayhew effect comes in, man. I tell you, this guy was unbelievable. I was thinking Darrell Green was my ticket, and Martin Mayhew was actually the one that was making all the plays in these first couple weeks. But again, Ernest Biner going in for the touchdown. Quite a theme you'll start seeing here. I want to get as much of these missions done as possible. But again, Art Monk up top, we got to go for try to get the 100-yard pass. Mark Rippon not so agile, but he's by himself down there, so Art Monk is not going to miss that. One of the most underrated receivers in the NFL, in my opinion. You don't hear many people talk about Art Monk, kind of like a Tim Brown type, where you really don't hear much about him, but he was quite an amazing football player. And this was the issue I thought I was going to run into. But me being up 31-7, I really wasn't too concerned with what Barry Sanders was going to do. We pretty much had this game on lockdown. But again, right here, Rodney Peete is going to give us another gift. Good old Martin Mayhew again. I say 3 picks. This game was quite great. But again, Rodney Peete giving it back to us. Again, I thought this game would be a lot harder, but again, week 1, I understand it's not going to be the toughest of games. That reverse is going to be the death of me as I go through this series, though. This one turns out real nice with Gary Clark, but he is not super fast, and that reverse is it's not very good when you're going against some of those defenses late in the season, and they're a lot faster. Getting him that 600 yards is going to be a problem, I think. But you never know. We'll see how it goes as the weeks go on. If you guys remember the early 90s when the Redskins put a whooping on the Lions in the playoffs, this is pretty much what this game was going to be. Trust me, though, games get a lot closer and a lot harder. Gary Clark are leading us in rushing with 133. Like I said, I want to get as many of those yards done early as possible because we all know it gets a lot harder as it goes on. Week 2, we come in with the Cowboys. This is not your 90s Cowboys that you're thinking of. These guys are a little easier to play against. Again, started off big with another interception. Martin Mayhew again. He is the dominant player on defense for these first couple weeks. Then getting Ernest Biner up in the middle. Not a lot of big plays going on. A lot of just getting touchdowns and getting wins, man. That's all I'm really trying to do here. Getting those wins, but also getting those missions done. The 30 sacks I thought would be a lot tougher. But those rollout plays that some of the teams have, Darrell Green is allowed to get us some sacks that way, which made it a lot easier. Of course, Charles Mann coming on our D-line. I refuse to play the D-line. I will play either a linebacker or a corner. Very rarely will you ever see me play the D-line. Just because I think you can do too many more glitchier stuff, and I'm not trying to do that. So, again, we go up 30-0 here. This was pretty much a blowout from the beginning. The Cowboys not so hard to play against, especially this early in the season. Again, I don't look at the bad, good, excellent status of anybody. I just try to make it as legit as possible. Ernest Biner going for 131. Again, trying to get him up as quick as possible to get that done so I can just play the games. Week 3, going against Phoenix, again, I thought this was going to be a bigger blowout. And again, the score doesn't really justify how closer the game was. They actually were pretty solid. Vi Sikahema, one of the best returners in Tecmo Super Bowl. And then Johnny Johnson, I would only assume was excellent because he was causing some issues too. But their pass game's pretty weak. We all know the Cardinals don't really bring much to the table when it comes to that. That's one of the teams I'm kind of not dreading to be, but with the Jets, the Patriots, the Cardinals, they're just a little tougher teams that are going to be a lot harder to play with in this series that we're going to run here. So, Ernest Biner, again, coming through. If you guys don't know this about me, I know I'm wearing my Ravens hat, but I am a full-blown Ravens fan. Now, Johnny Johnson, I told you, this is where old Chip Miller ain't going to catch him. So Johnny Johnson takes one of the onside kicks back. And I just want to let you guys know, too, I do not run onside kicks. If it happens to be an onside kick, it's because of the fact I try to go full power and it just goes all the way down to the onside kick. So don't think I run that. I don't. I run no cheese, no glitchy stuff. I try to keep it legit as possible. But again, going back to us, I'm about 35-7. Redskins win. Ernest Biner for 192. Again, Biner's not going to be hard to get to 600, but some of those harder missions, man, like a 1,500-yard rusher. Again, we show here he's up to 423, 12 touchdowns. Gary Clark up to 273 and a touchdown. Sacks wise, Darrell Green's up there as well. I think he's up to 9. Yeah, so I mean, it won't be hard, I don't think, to get him up there as well. The Bengals game, again, I thought this was going to be a blowout. And it was to start the game, but man, it sure does end a lot harder than it needed to. But yeah, Ravens fan, have been since they moved from Cleveland. But I grew up a Browns fan, and I just moved with the team to Baltimore. So I do know Ernest Biner is a very sour subject with me. He is the fumble, of course. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Ernest Biner, but nonetheless, got to use him to get this done. Gary Clark killing me here. Carl Carter. If you can't tell he's excellent, come on now. Look at this guy, lead blocking though, killing me. But yeah, as you can see here, nope. 3, 4, 5. I mean, how many tackles you want the guy to break? So yeah, I was a little not too nervous here being up 16-7, but again, I didn't know who was excellent on their team because I don't look at that stuff. I think it's funny when you don't look at that. But just so you know, Eddie Brown is also excellent, as you can tell. So, yeah, so that was going to be tough. I was getting a little nervous here. 16-14, their defense was looking solid. But then, of course, you got Art Monk. Art Monk saved me in this first half of this series. More times than I'd like to admit. Ricky Sanders as well. But, there you go. I say that, and then David Fulcher gets the fumble recovery. But nonetheless, I will still say Art Monk saved me a ton. But this is where it got close. 16-14, we turned him over on downs to a punt. And then, of course, you got to find good old Gary Clark doing some work where he should be as a receiver, not a running back. But, you do what you got to do because we don't sub. There's no subs in this series. So we're not subbing out anybody. Whatever the starting lineup is what it is. We get out of there 23-14. Again, only 94 yards for Ernest Biner. And obviously Gary Clark had less than that. This game right here, if you don't know what the first play is going to be, like I didn't know what it was going to be, of course it's freaking Randall Cunningham, QB Eagles on his quarterback sweep play. And he houses me for like 95 yards. Yeah, it was real quick. Like, okay, I pretty much keyed on Cunningham the rest of the game and made it so obviously he wasn't going to beat me if I was going to lose this game. And luckily he didn't because he made a couple other big plays, but I think we kind of held him in check, which of course is the main thing when you play the Eagles. I'm just kind of remembering, I'm so used to playing Madden or playing college football that I kind of forget sometimes, you got to key on the guys right. You key on the right guys and, make somebody else beat you. And you'll find out in many of these games I've played, when I play the Bears against Neil Anderson or the Giants against David Meggett, Giants have multiple hard guys to play against. But this was to open the second half. Only up 14-7 too. Again, still a close game, but Keith Jackson fumbling like that was huge. That really took us back. Put us right back in good field position. Ernest Biner does his thing, gets us back up 21-7. 2-score lead. Feeling really good about it. But again, not over yet. Keith Byers is still there. A little out of the backfield. Touchdown. Again, it's not like it's the game is a lot harder than I remember, honestly. 21-14, we got this one, but only 58 yards for Ernest Biner. We got to get those missions done. That way we don't have to worry about them. We can just play the game. But the game, as the weeks go on, I kind of forget how much harder the game is every time. Especially when you add the missions on. The missions make it even harder. So open this game up against the Bears. Bailey, I remember him as a kick returner. I don't remember him being this kind of kick returner, though. All of a sudden, he's taking it, and again, starting a game off like this, there's nothing worse than starting a game off like this because you're locked in and you're hoping to get, just out of the game. He took it to about the 20-yard line. Then, of course, Neil Anderson was looking real nice because he killed me this game as well. Again, a very tough game. But nonetheless, you do the right things. You key against the right guys. With the Redskins, I luck out a lot with the fact that they have a lot of motion, which helps out a ton. And then, of course, you got Ricky Sanders. And Ricky Sanders, I wish, was the one doing the reverse because that dude's got some speed. Gary Clark does not have any speed, and he absolutely killed me multiple times. It made the games a lot harder than they needed to be. But of course, you got Ernest Biner, not a speed demon, but he gets you where he needs to go. And I think we got him over 600 yards right there. And that was big, going up 14-7. But again, Neil Anderson, I'm telling you, this guy, I'm excited to start playing to some of these other teams because Neil Anderson, solid. Barry Sanders, solid. Can't wait to go over and be Icky Woods with the Cincinnati Bengals. Eric Metcalf with the Browns. I mean, there's so many I can name. I'm just excited to try out other teams. Like I said, I like the Redskins were solid. They were fun to play with. But again, this video only goes through week 9. We don't know what's going to be after that. But we do know that that Martin Mayhew, I think, is over there getting another interception. This guy, who knew? Am I the only one that didn't know about Martin Mayhew? As a Michigan resident, I knew Martin Mayhew as an NFL player, and I also knew him as a front office guy for the Lions, and we all hated him. So I didn't mind him because I'm not a Lions fan, but a lot of people in Detroit hated him. Ernest Biner, there we go. We get over the 600 yards, so he's done. But Gary Clark only sitting at 369. We still got a couple hundred yards to go with him, and it's not as easy as you think with him because as it goes on, he's just not have the ability to do it. We're about halfway there with Darrell Green too, so we're getting better and better with it. Week 7, we go against the Browns. Again, I thought it'd be an easier game. Browns got a really good defense. Offense, not so much. I really wasn't too worried about their offense, but their defense is solid. And so I was kind of just, hoping to get out of this game. But of course, Gary Clark killing me with a fumble. Tony Blaylock with a pickup. And again, 0-0 at halftime. This was a defensive battle. Mark Rippon, look at his slow ass. Lucky I didn't have to do a 3 or 6 or 1,000-yard quarterback rusher because I think I would have definitely failed at that. But yeah, Mark Rippon coming up big. And then, of course, Darrell Green, I was only halfway through and I was getting a little nervous about the sacks. But again, we got out of this one 12-0. Only got 38 yards out of Ernest Biner. It was a tough game. This was tough sledding. Then this is the last game of our series against the Giants, the one I was most concerned with because of that guy right there, David Meggett. He always seems to kill me in Tecmo, man. He always does. And of course, starting off the game, going down 7-0 was not ideal, not the way I wanted to go. But, a lot of the game left, a lot of time left. Of course, Art Monk is going to save us. I'm telling you, Art Monk, I wish I had more objectives with him because over Gary Clark. But again, this was the game changer right here. David Meggett getting hurt early, off kick return, off punt return, no more second running back for him. I think that really changed the whole game, honestly. So yeah, Gary Clark getting a touchdown here, going up 14-7, fist pump. We're ready to go. Like I said, we can't lose it now. And, of course, right there is big. Darrell Green. Those rollouts, yep, I know. But we got to get the sacks where we can get them. And luckily, we got a safety out of it. Ernest Biner coming through. Again, I'm not the best Tecmo player in the world, guys, but I'm pretty damn good. And I think it's going to be a battle to get this undefeated season, but I'm excited to see if I can do it, especially completing the missions on top of it. And, of course, we all know the kind of the glitchy flea flicker every once in a while, and bam, we pick it up. Again, we made this game look a lot worse than what it was, but this was a tougher game, man. This was a lot harder game than it needed to be. We're up 30-7. As you can see, that corner coming around the edge there. Gary Clark, I got to get him his yards. Some any way possible to get him his yards, and luckily we got in the end zone there. I think we got him up to like 390 or close to that. So we're about 210 away. Again, Biner only at 79, but we're done with him. I just want to get Gary Clark his yards, and I'm just going to play. I just got to play because that's the only way we're going to get wins. Again, Biner's over his number. Gary Clark's at 458, so we got 142 to go. Sacks wise, Darrell Green is up to 23, so we only got 7 to go with him. I think we're going to get those ones done, but the kick and punt return ones we're not going to get done, I don't think. We're sitting at 8-0 on top of the division. Giants 7-1. That Niners team will be something to concern ourselves with. But yeah, guys, we'll see how it goes. Stay tuned for that outro, and I cannot wait to get into the second part of this series. All right, guys, so the first 9 weeks are in the books. We are 8-0. I do not like our chances with that hard mission, the 3 kickoff returns, punt returns. Brian Mitchell's not doing his thing, and you kind of have to let him score sometimes to get the kickoff returns, because punt returns, we all know in Tecmo Super Bowl, are super, super hard to do. So the sacks-wise, I think I'm going to get Darrell Green up in sacks, so I don't think we'll have a problem there, and then I can switch off of Darrell Green and get on to somebody else on the defense, which I think will help out our defense a lot more. And then the 2 600-yard rushers, Ernest Biner, I knew would not be a problem. My problem is Gary Clark. He is slow as crap, as well as the route, the reverse is terrible. So, I mean, it's one of those things. I think I have him at 375 right now. So I'm 225 away. I think I'll be able to get there. But that hard one, I don't think I'm going to be able to get. So going the first half, I think what do we got? The first half only picking run plays on defense. I think I'll be okay with that to a certain extent because Daryl Green will be enough to get me around and should be able to, get me through at least a half of football, especially in the wild card or division, most likely the divisional round. But it's gonna be really tough to get through and get this undefeated season. I kind of forgot how tough it is to get through an undefeated season as they get better and better and better. Because a few of those games, as you can see, the QB Eagles really would have killed me. That Bengals game was a real nail biter until the end. But yeah, so guys, stay tuned. We got video 2 coming up, which will be the end of this season. Hopefully get through. Hopefully win a championship. 16-0 is the plan. But you never know. We'll see how it goes because, like I said, this Tecmo Super Bowl game ain't for the weak. So stay tuned. Part 2 coming up soon. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Don't forget to always gaming like it's 1999. Like I said, that's what we do here. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, all that great stuff. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.